Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. I have to say that talking to artists is one of the best parts of my job. Even if you're not interested in making art yourself, they inspire all of us to be more creative in our everyday lives. Most artists will agree that their calling is not usually an easy one. Because of the physicality of their work, sculptors learn early on that persistence pays. Here's what Princess Anne clay artist Ernie Satchel had to say about this.
If you feel passionate, you will do that regardless. You know, people that like to sing, even they might be doing construction work, they will sing every opportunity they get. They'll sing in church, they'll sing in groups, they'll sing any opportunity they get, they will sing because they're driven to sing. And that's the way it is with art. I always like doing things. I always challenge myself. If something didn't work, I wouldn't quit. I would just keep trying over and over again.
One of the running themes in all of our artist interviews is the value of pursuing a personal sense of vision, both fearlessly and joyfully. DeMarcus Shelbourne says that a good recipe for this is to have a balanced approach.
A lot of my art, at times, even now, currently, I do things that are thinking business-wise, what are people going to want? You know what I mean? And you have to do that to an extent, but life is all about balance, so you definitely have to find time for yourself and doing the type of art that not everybody may not even understand or appreciate, but maybe they will later, But you got to stay true to yourself, for sure.
Many of the artists we spoke to mentioned the importance of being open to creative inspiration wherever we might find it. Here is painter Geraldine McEwen.
I think for me, I think I hear this from other artists too. We're just always, our mind is just always looking at the world as subject matter for a painting. And I've told my students this funny story that one day we were taking paintings to Annapolis, and I said to my husband, today I don't want to think about art. Let's go in this nice pub, let's have a nice lunch. I'm going to just tune out from art. So we went in, and the pub had skylights, and the light was falling in onto this beautiful mosaic floor, and the wood of the bar, and I was watching the bartender and the wood and everything, and for about half an hour I couldn't stand it anymore. And I pulled out my camera and I snuck some pictures. So, we can't tune out of seeing the world as their subject.
It's not surprising that a performer like singer-songwriter Brian Russo is inspired by the connection he feels to his audience.
When you have the audience, it's a brilliant thing. There's that moment right after you finish a song where it's that moment when the last note hits and before the claps start. That is the most gratifying, I think, for me. But that moment, I think, is something that hooked me from the first time I ever played on a stage when I was in 3rd grade to what I'm doing now. And that doesn't matter if it's just a cafeteria filled with family and friends, or if it's, 1,000 people opening up for, a huge legend or a national act. It's that moment right before the claps. That it's not the claps. It's that moment before.
Fiber artist Deborah Johnson finds her inspiration in the people in her life.
And I find faces fascinating, and I think it's been a big benefit to me to have lived all over the country. And one of my very oldest and dearest friends is Inuit, and her face appears a lot in my work. And now that we're older together, her children's faces appear in my work. And of course, my family is just a wonderful tapestry of all different races. So all those faces appear in my work because it's much nicer to weave the faces that you love.
For Berlin painter Patrick Henry, an inquisitive nature has made him one of our more prolific artists.
I have always walked with this strong inner voice, And I'm very curious. I study everything. Travel, they had said, really opens the minds of artists. And sure enough, it was no way I could come back here and look at those images and see a few that I want to try that. I want to go to a realm other than somebody want me to paint this or that, and to just explore.
Many artists we spoke to felt that traveling had opened them up in ways that cannot happen from books, TV, or online imagery. Ocean City photographer Tony Townsend said that his number one thing is to inspire people who see his work to travel.
I have the belief, you can find beauty in anything. Whether it's a wall covered in graffiti, or if it's some amazing new skyscraper, or a canyon, or whatever. So I just try to find that and then share that. I think my primary goal is to get other people to go out and see more, because there's so much of the world that nobody ever even knows. And I've always liked to quote from St. Augustine. He said, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel only read a page."
All that talk of travel inspired me to take a little tour of my home county to create a photographic essay of the many types of architecture you can see here. If you'd like to see my pictures of Worcester County, from the sleek high-rises of Ocean City to the historic small-town charm of Pocomoke, Snow Hill, and Berlin, and a sampling of beautiful farmhouses in between, check out artsandtimes.org. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters, eatdrinkbuyart.com, for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.